What's good, YouTube? My name is Oz. I'm the creator of Atsah Capital, and here's where I want to document my trading process, the tools that I use, and the consistent execution as a day trader. Let's get right into it. Let's get straight to business. Most traders, including myself, in the earlier stages of my trading, you go the prop firm route. Now, I've passed 50K accounts, 10K accounts, 100K accounts, and it's true that I managed to get a few payouts here and there, but the reality of it is I lost them all. Now, this took a span of a couple of years, and I did everything that I thought possible to make different strategies work under different mentorships, under different gurus. I'll spare you the details. And it got so bad to where after a series of taking a break, coming back, taking a break, coming back, I was ready to just give up. Like, forget this, I'm tired. Until I took a long hiatus and I just came back and developed my own personal strategy. I stopped listening to other people, and I literally only read 2 books. That's the Candlestick Trading Bible, and I believe her name is Carolyn Broden, if I'm not mistaken. And that's the book Fibonacci. And things could not have been any simpler. So in this first video, I want to give something to struggling traders so that they can reflect on to really determine if their strategy is ineffective or they themselves are executing poorly as a trader. And I personally believe that you can only do that by gathering data. You should get anywhere from 100 to 200 samples from each instrument that you use to make a solid determination and figure out what needs to change. And only from there you can start making refinements. But if you are literally following your edge to the T without any type of deviation, and you have a negative equity curve over that course of the sample, the strategy has to go. It's not you. Which what people, I personally think, don't talk about enough. Because everybody wants to scream about psychology and say, hey, if your psychology is on point, then the system is profitable. That could be farther from the truth. So I'm gonna give you the Notion template that I personally use to get a visual of the data that you collect in your actual trading performance. So come on. All right, so first you're gonna go to Notion.com. And if you guys already have an account, don't worry, you can skip this part. If you don't have an account, Notion is free. You can just go ahead and click this button and go through the process. Enter your email address and your credentials, create a password, and after that you should be good. It's fairly simple. All right, and once you're done, you should have a page that looks something like this or something similar. It's just a couple instructions and shortcuts. You can actually completely ignore all this, to be honest. All right, and this icon you can change, or you can delete it completely. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. And your page should look something similar like this. So just for the sake of time, we'll just add data. You can name it whatever you want, but here's the important part. So first you want to hit / and then the function of basic blocks pops up, the media and database. You want to make sure you go down all the way to database and click table view. That is the most important part, because if you click the other table outside of database, it's just going to be a random table with no function. So you make sure you click the right one. All right, so I'm going to give you the exact structure of how my template is. So for the first property here, you're going to change the name. You just click it and the sub menu pops up, and you can put pair or instrument, whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. And right up under, you're going to click the plus new page, and you're going to start adding the pairs that you actually want to input to start collecting data. So for the sake of time, let's just do, I don't know, US 30. Just make a bunch of these. Let's do gold. mean, obviously you're going to put what you use. So the next function you want to hit the plus add property up top, and you're going to be clicking date. So once you click the empty field, it automatically populate based on the date that you entered the trade or whatever you back tested. Let's just do some random dates for now, just to pass some time. Let's say you took some trades on the same day, whatever. All right, so for the next property, you click the plus sign, and then you hit the select type. And that is where I have my sessions. So let's just put session, timing, whatever you want to put. And you're going to be creating your own buttons. So for example, let's do New York session. And then you hit enter. And you can change the color. Once you click the button again, you hit the little sub menu here again, you can change the color. Let's just make it blue. If you're an Asian session trader, it's the same process. Just put Asian, hit enter, and London. Oop. Let's delete that because I spelled it wrong. Whoops. There we go. Let's make that a different color. I don't like that. Let's make that green. All right. The rest of these gonna be New York. Whatever. All right, so the next one will be position. So you hit plus again, and hit the same select function. And honestly, it's just gonna be a buy or a sell. So let's do buy. Obviously, let's make that green. And sell. Let's make that red. It doesn't matter at this point. All right, and if we continue, the next property, you're gonna hit the select button again, and it's gonna be win, loss, or break even. So, let's just fix the property. Let's do result, and let's do position. All right, same thing. So we got wins. Make that green. We got losses. Let's make that red. And let's do break even. Yeah, that's fine the way it is. Let's make these wins, whatever. All right, so once again, hit the plus sign button and hit select once more. And let's make this our risk to reward. Whatever we lost or won, so risk to reward. Let's do plus 1R. Let's do plus 2R. Let's do minus 1R. Let's do plus 3R. And again, you can change these colors to whatever you want. All right, whatever. All right, everybody. So for the next property will be our profit and loss, and that should probably just be text. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's just do P&L. We'll just leave that blank for now. And the next property will be our equity after the trade, after the win or the loss or break even or whatever mood you did previously is calculated into your overall balance. So we should use an actual number. Let's go ahead and change that. Equity. All right, and for the next property, that will be a text property. And what I personally have is my entry time frame. And because I have different methods of entry, I have intraday, I have swing, I have scalping on some days. So I need to personally focus on my strengths and weaknesses when it comes to different time frames. But again, you can customize this to however you like and just go from there. All right, the next property that is extremely important will be risk. So that should be another text format. Just get rid of this and type in risk. Whatever your risk percentage is, definitely want to include that in your data. All right, another extremely important factor to include is your screenshots. You got to have some type of visual to see what you're actually doing. So just click Files and Media, And when you hit the empty space, you can literally load up from your desktop, or if you're on the move like I am most of the time, you can just take a snapshot of TradingView or whatever platform you use and just upload all your files here. All right, and the last property I have on mine is the notes or commentary. I like to talk about what I was going through or what I was thinking about during the process of each trade. All right, so let's actually go back to the P&L property and just start populating data, because not the P&L but the actual equity function, the hashtag or the pound symbol, is what you're going to actually use in this database to actually develop some type of visual data on the different chart once you're done. So I'll show you that momentarily. Just give me a second. So let's use the P&L. That's going to be, let's just keep it simple. It's just 25. That'll be 50. Plus. All right, simple. All right, let's just say you started off with 100. All right, so now let's go actually name the table. Just say table data, keep it simple. All right, once you're done with that, you want to go ahead and hit this plus sign to add new view. And you have different views you can use, table, board, gallery, and so on and so on. But in this particular case, let's use chart. And let's go ahead and just name this chart data. Fine. All right, so with the chart, you have different chart types. You got the horizontal, got the line. I personally like line data, so let's work with that for now. For our x-axis, obviously x is from left to right. There's a little arrow right here for those of you who may be a little confused. It's all good, they got help here. That should be our date. All right, and then you go down to your y-axis. Here's the arrow, shows you from top to bottom. That should be your number or the equity. That was that hashtag I was telling you guys about earlier, and it should always say sum. So you just click that and click sum. All right, if you continue to scroll down just a little bit further, you got a range. You actually can set a custom range. So if this was our beginning point, let's just leave that there. And our max range, let's leave that to, let's do 700. You can see how the chart immediately changed. So obviously as your account grows, you can watch this go up and you'll just alter this at a later time. For the most part, that's it. Obviously everybody's charts are going to look a little different, but basically you're just utilizing this to figure out if you actually have edge. And if you do have edge, you should see a positive equity curve. Now, if you're already profitable, completely ignore what I said, continue to do what you're doing. But for those of you who are still trying to figure things out, I really hope this helps, because I wish somebody would take the time out to help me like this. All right, so if we hustle back to a table, you just click the different subcategories here to go from chart to chart. But again, that's ultimately it. Now feel free to, alter the properties that you have here. All right, just one more thing before I let you go. If you already have a strategy in place, that's perfect. The moment that you do not follow or alter any type of execution or any subject matter within your edge, you are essentially compromising your data. So this is something that everybody has to be honest with themselves with, because you're only hurting yourself at the end of the day. And some of the things that I was doing, I was saying, hey, I would have took this trade, or that looks good, I probably would have took it, or hey, I probably would have broke out even just so that a trade wouldn't turn into a loss. Do not do that. Just follow the plan exactly as it is, no matter what type of style of trading that you do. All right, I'm done ranting. That's it for now. If you guys should have any questions about the chart setup or anything on Notion, you can go ahead and shoot me a message. Feel free to comment. My actual Instagram is Atsah. That's ATSAH.capital. All right, so everybody, good luck on your trading journey. Stay diligent. I'm out.